Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle, and I am currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In a previous episode, I wrapped up the entire 2021, and in this episode, I am going to start off with January 2022. So here it goes. Now, right before I talk about the month of January 2022, I do want to mention something I forgot to talk about in December. So, the last week of December, at this time, I'm like healing up from the whole vid situation I was dealing with. I remember watching a video of a Christian YouTuber who I would just watch his videos. I remember watching his video, and in his video, he mentions a woman that's a prophet. Now, for the sake of the story, we're going to call this prophet princess. That's going to be her name, right? So in the video, he mentions this lady, this prophet princess, and he talks about her prophecy for 2022. So I remember just thinking in my head that, you know what? For the fact that this guy, this Christian YouTuber, mentioned prophet princess, I'm going to look her up. So after I watched the video, I remember searching prophet princess on YouTube. Her video pops up, and I'm like, wait, this lady's YouTube videos has been popping up on my feed for almost, I want to say, that entire month of December. So I remember just thinking like, man, that is so interesting how the Christian YouTuber mentions her name, and I search her on YouTube and I realized that she was on my YouTube feed that entire month of December. So I was like, let me watch some of her videos. She had one video that was probably the latest video that she had, and it was a prophetic word for 2022. Um, let's just say that the prophetic word had to do with marriage. It was called the year of marriage. Okay, that was a prophetic word, the year of marriage. So I remember watching her video, and she says how God gave her a prophetic word for 2022, that 2022 is going to be the year of marriage, that God is bringing marriages together, and how these marriages were going to advance the kingdom of God. So I remember just thinking to myself, like, okay, I honestly believe that Brandon and I have a God ordained marriage, and God was going to bring me and Brandon together to advance his kingdom, advance God's kingdom. So I'm thinking, hey, 2022, maybe that year. That would have been 4 years at that point that I knew about Brandon. So I'm like, hey, it could be that year that me and Brandon get together. It was very important for me to talk about Prophet Princess because she does play a role in my 2022 story. So, yeah. Okay, so now it's time for me to talk about January 2022. It is January 1st, y'all. And I'm like, okay, this is a new year. I was in the wilderness in 2019, didn't get out. I was in the wilderness in 2020, didn't get out. I was in the wilderness, very, very much in the wilderness in 2021, and I didn't get out. So 2022 has to be my year. It has to, you know? So I'm like, okay, this has to be my year. This has to be the year of me receiving everything that God has promised me. And yeah, January 2nd, I get an email notice from Georgia Power that my bill was due. Now, y'all, I did not have money to pay for my bill. The only thing I had was $21 in cash. Also, at this time, my roof was leaking in my living room. Actually, no, not my living room, in my dining room area. So I had my roof leaking, and I had the laundry dryer knob malfunctioning. I was like, okay, what's going on? 2022, what's going on? um, so that was happening. At the same time, by the 6th of January, I reached out to the assistant manager. She had scheduled a meeting with me, and really the purpose of the meeting was for us to talk about this whole rental assistance thing, because y'all, I really needed that. I was behind in rent. I did not pay my rent for the month of October, November, and December, and January as well as at this point. So January 6th, I had an assistant manager meetup, and I also decided to set up a meeting with the first rental assistance I ever got, which was from January 2021. I decided to set up a meetup with them because I'm like, hey, maybe I can get rental assistance from them. It's been 12 months. I know I can get something from them. So I had a meeting with them. Actually, I set up a meeting with them, and that was going to take place in February. So, yeah. January 7th, I decided to reach out to the statewide rental assistance program. And the reason why I did that was because in the meeting with the new assistant manager, she didn't know what application I was talking about. She had no idea. She was new, but then again, she said she has nothing in her um, system, and also too, she said that everything that the former assistant manager had that was in her email address, it goes away. So everything that she had going on, which is the new assistant manager, that all started anew. So she had no idea of any rental assistance program, any application, none of that. So I said, okay, you know what? I will reach out to the people from the statewide rental assistance program. So I did that on January 7th. I called them. I said, hey, I'm looking at my application. It still says application submitted. I don't know why it's been saying that for the past couple of months. I applied back in September. So the guy lets me know that every application was assigned to a caseworker. And according to what he saw on my file, I was not assigned a caseworker. And they said, he also said it was like first come, first serve as well. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, sir, it's been 4 months and I haven't been assigned a caseworker. That's when I thought in my head, I said, wait, hold on. Let me ask him this. So I say to him, I said, sir, I know the landlord is supposed to fill out an application. If the landlord doesn't fill out an application, do I get assigned a caseworker? He says no, that we have to receive your application and the landlord's application. If not, you don't get a caseworker. And he says to me, that's probably why you haven't been assigned a caseworker. So that's when it all made sense. I said, okay, thank you very much. He was like, you know what? Just reach out to your landlord, make sure they get everything that needs to be filled out. And yeah, he said, give them the website, send it to them. And once they fill it out, the process should move quicker for you. I said, okay, thank you very much. And I thought to myself, man, y'all, I was like, it made sense because y'all, I filled in that application September. It was January. Why wasn't I assigned a caseworker? Pepper never filled out the application. This is why I was so glad that she was gone. So immediately I emailed the new assistant manager and I told her, the conversation basically, and I sent her the link to the landlord application. Y'all, do you know after probably 20 minutes after, this lady emails me and tells me that she already filled it out? I was like, what? Y'all, it took her 20 minutes to fill out the landlord application. I had to chase Pepper for weeks. See, this is how you know, y'all. This is how, anyways, I'm not even going to get into it. But I was just thinking, I was just thanking God in that moment that He removed my adversary out the way. And so yeah, so y'all, it took her 20 minutes to fill out that application, and she had a courtesy to email me back to let me know that she filled it out. So that was something great that happened in the month of January. By the by the 9th of January, y'all, my account balance was negative $332.27. I remember going to Kroger, y'all, because I needed to get groceries. I had five singles, $5 singles. I had, I think, $5 worth of quarters, and I had dimes, y'all. I remember counting all my money just to go into the store and get, what was it, eggs and water and stuff like that. It was hard for me, y'all. It was really hard. I remember sitting in my car. I think it was right before I went to the store, after got back out that, man, every time I see a person like chase the bag, like chase money, or always talk about money, I always used to feel like they were money hungry, right? Like, oh my goodness, this person loves money so much. Like, ugh. But then I realized in that moment, like, not necessarily. Some people have this itch to chase money because they have this fear that they're gonna lack. Because y'all, that was what was going on with me at that moment. I started to have this scarcity mindset. I started to have this fear of lack, that I will never have enough money, so I always have to have enough, or I have to chase um I always have to chase money, or I have to chase a lot of money because of this fear of not having enough, because I know what it's like to live in lack. I know what it's like to live in poverty. So my mindset towards people who chase money, it changed. I kind of looked at them with pity, because I'm like, yo, I understand. I understand why you have to have 50 jobs, because there was a season in your life where you couldn't afford eggs and water, and you don't want to go back to that. So I was like, I get it now. I get it. But y'all, it was really tight. Money was really tight. I hated the fact that money was still a thing for me. Like, lack of money was still a thing in 2022. I'm like, yo, it's been like almost 3 years at this point. Why am I still going through this money issue thing? But that was what was going on. I remember also too having the urge to fast. Don't remember if I fast, but I have it in my notes that I've had this urge to fast. Anyways, January 11, y'all, I remember start praying for my Georgia Power bill for me to have resources to pay for that. Y'all, I started running out of toothpaste. I had to look for, oh my goodness, y'all, it was really bad. Like, I remember going through my pantry, going through my household essentials pantry looking for toothpaste. I remember finding a travel size toothpaste and using that. Um, it was just a lot. January 12th, which was the next day, that was the deadline for me to pay off my Georgia Power bill. Did not have the resources, y'all. January 19th, I get a call from my mom, and she tells me that I need to go and get a passport picture because there were certain things that she needed to get from like Nigeria concerning some of my dad's stuff. So I need a passport picture, and she was like, "Hey, go to the pharmacy and get a passport picture." And I didn't want to tell her I didn't have money, but I was like, you know what? Let me just tell her. I said, "Hey, mom, I don't have money." She was like, "You have nothing at all?" I said, "No, actually, I have a negative balance on my account." Now, I was waiting for her to give me a pep talk. Surprisingly, she didn't. So she was like, "Okay, I'll send you money, but how am I going to send it to you? Because if I send to your account, I don't want that to be taken from the negative balance." So we started brainstorming ideas, and I came to the conclusion. I said, "Hey, you know what, mom? Why don't you send the money to Esther?" And the reason why I brought up Esther is because my mom has given Esther money before when she graduated. So I'm like, "Hey, do you still have her information? You can send it to her. I can let her know. I can, first of all, ask her if it's okay. And if she said it's okay, you can send it to her. And I would just go to her and get the money, like the cash form." And she was like, "Okay, just let me know what she says." So I remember sending the text to Esther. She said it was fine. My mom sends the money to her. And I remember telling Esther that I was going to meet up with her before 6 p.m. that day. So I go to Esther to get the money. Yeah, my mom sent me, I think it was $300. I was like, what? Because y'all getting a passport picture from Walgreens or CVS is like what, 19.95 or something like that. I was expecting my mom to give me like probably 40 or $50. My mom sent like 300, and I was like, wow, that was so amazing. So I got the money from Esther, and yeah, I got the money from Esther. I went to CVS, or was it Walgreens, one of them, to get the passport picture, and I scanned the picture to my mom. The next day was January 20th, y'all. January 20th, and I remember just waking up that day and my apartment felt cold. I was like, why does my apartment feel cold? I was like, anyways, it's whatever. So I remember just being in bed, reading my devotional book, and I remember looking at my phone. I wanted to charge my phone. I put the lightning cable, on my phone. It didn't pop up. Like the charging sign did not pop up. And I was like, what is going on? The next thing I said, wait, hold up. I looked at my bathroom door. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I typically leave my bathroom light on. The light was off. I said, oh no. Georgia Power had disconnected my power. I was like, what? But here's the thing, my mom giving me $300, it made sense, y'all. It made all the sense in the world. And I'm going to stop the episode right there. Yeah, I'm going to stop the episode right there. Next episode, I'm going to talk about what happened with the whole Georgia Power situation and all the other things that happened in the month of January. So if you're liking An Unlikely Story, please like, comment, subscribe, and please share my videos as well. And until next time, bye.